This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Oh, that's way too loud. Hi, everybody. It is the After Party live on Trivia Thursday. And yes, Sandy, I saw your message. I even put it in a little banner. She writes, "Hi, Kim. I don't know if you'll see this email before today's show, but in case you do, I'm wondering if we can do trivia early today. I have to leave work at 2 and I hate to miss trivia. Sandy." So noted. And you know what I love? That you love trivia that much that you take the time to message me about it. Yes, of course we'll do trivia early. Thank you for asking. Absolutely. And the way to get to me, if you are interested in sending a message, is kim@theafterparty.live. That's what Sandy did, and she gets her way. So we'll do trivia early. Before we do trivia, though, I just wanted to ask you, because yesterday we talked a little bit about exercise. I know I don't want to be the nagging mom, but we know that it's going to put even 5 minutes a day is going to put more onto our lives, more time onto the end of our lives. So yesterday, I went to the honors AP night, AP honors night, and it's at Petaluma High School. And I think probably every school has this, but what it is you go there and you go to the classes, the AP and the honors classes that your child is interested in taking for next year. And the teachers explain, what it is they do, and you kind of get to see who they are and how they interact with people, and your kid goes as well, and you kind of decide which classes are on the docket for next year, because by the end of the month they're going to register kids for next year's classes. Anyway, so I went to the AP honors night and I was moving around all over that school. As a matter of fact, I climbed up the tallest staircase to get to AP biology. And I thought, there's my 5 minutes of extra exercise. That's going to tack on some real time to the end of my life. So I felt like it's not something I do every day. So I'll consider that extra. Did you guys do anything extra? I'm going to the chat to see if anybody did something extra. Ooh, with a sizzle. I actually did 10 minutes extra yesterday. You're going to live a long time with the sizzle. That's awesome. I love it. Wonderful. Deidre, almost forgot about trivia. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you will. We'll start it in just a few minutes. Let's see. Who else did some exercises? Agent Kitty Feeds just got back from Vegas. Oh, yeah, you did a lot of steps through Vegas. Absolutely. Gordon walked down to a small redwood tree grove, hugged one of them, and walked down about 4 blocks. Look at you with your extra. Well, wonderful. If you did extra 5 minutes yesterday, pat yourself on the back. Well done. You're adding to your lifespan, and I love that for you, because I want you to be around as long as possible to see the end of this administration. I know we don't talk politics, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to mention it in brief, right? And so take your extra 5 minutes a day. Make a commitment to yourself and to me to do your extra 5 minutes today. It's okay if you didn't do anything. Noah Fidian, do it today. What's your 5 minutes going to be today? Maybe do it during trivia. Stand up and just stretch a little bit while we're doing trivia, right? I mean, take the time to type in your answer and then stretch before we do the next question. I don't know, something, anything, right? All right. Okay. Oh, look at this. Sandy throws down a 5. Love your show, Kim. Thank you for all you do, including trivia. Thank you for your message. Thank you for your $5. It is most needed and most appreciated. And I so appreciate that. The super chat, super stickers are always open here on this show. And the PayPal information is in the show description every single day. Huge thank you. Yesterday, Wes threw in 5, Scott R, Dallas Y, Prakash S, Kim N, all recent contributors to the PayPal. Most people set up a recurring payment. So just really appreciate it. It's very kind and necessary for the show to keep on rolling. So thank you so much. Okay, now that we have said this, let us... Oh, Yvonne, great extra, everyone. I rolled back and forth in bed most of the night. Oh no, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I mean, nice movement, but that's not the kind of movement I was talking about. It is time for Trivia Thursday, after party style. Oh, that's Travel Tuesday. Here's Trivia Thursday. There you go. We got it. James Buchanan for 5. Thank you so much, James Buchanan, with your big green J. I so appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sandy talking about joining a gym, need to start strength training. Yeah, that's good too. All right. Yeah. Well, Sandy asked for it. Be aware. So, All right. I think everyone is now collected for the show and let us do it. The first question. I'm in the chat. I see your answers. Okay, we're all ready. So, the trivia today that I have prepared for you is not necessarily a theme. These questions are all over the map. Some are super easy, some are a little more difficult, and some are fun, some are sciencey. They're just kind of like a smorgasbord of trivia questions. The first one, you might need to look at your keyboard for this one. What is the only US state that can be typed in using only one row of the standard keyboard? They call it the QWERTY keyboard. One row is all you would need, not the row above or the row below. The answer is what US state can be typed using only one row of your standard keyboard? No, Mississippi. I use the bottom and the top. M and I are on 2 different rows. That's not going to work. Oh, who is it? Look at you. Cameo knows it's Alaska. Well done. Alaska is the answer. It's all in the middle row. Cameo has it. Vanessa knew it. Does Wyoming work? YWO. No, M's on the bottom. Be Aware knew it was Alaska. Agent Kitty Feets knew it was Alaska. I'm so glad you had a good time in Vegas. Tell me that you won something. Deidre knew it was Alaska. So did Ren and Doug and Jim and James. You guys are smart. Chris has it. And so does Eileen, Nullifidian, Sandy, Jim, Gordon. Look at you. Yeah, the whole name of the whole state. Yeah, absolutely. Oh no. Yeah, you got to have a keyboard to know that one. Okay, the next one. Next questione. What do you call the visible part of the rivet commonly found on the pockets of your jeans? The visible part of the rivet. You know that little round thing on the back part of your jeans? If you have riveted jeans, what is that part of the rivet found on the pocket of the jeans called? The part you can see. Does anybody know? A grommet, a head, a nib, a head, a grommet. I got some froggy jeans. Nice. The answer is a snap, a Wallace. The answer is a bullet, says Gordon. A ring, a snap, a cap. That would be a good, because it is kind of the cap of it, right? The answer is a burr, B-U-R-R. We have learned together. I would not have gotten that one right. I did not know that the part you can see is called the burr. Yeah. Now you know. In the human anatomy, what does the hallux, H-A-L-L-U-X, refer to? Don't look it up. In the human anatomy, what does the hallux refer to? Hallux. I'll type it into the chat. What is that? I got a ankle bone. I got eyes. Be Aware says your first toe. The answer is the big toe. Be Aware gets it. I got a tailbone, an ear bone, a toe bone. Yes, James Buchanan. Top of the head like halo, the ear bone in the neck. I read medical reports for work. This one isn't fair. Yeah, it is the big toe. Good job, Be Aware. Well done. Yeah, it is the toe, the big toe. What is the only planet in our solar system to rotate clockwise on its axis? 'Tis the only planet in our solar system to rotate clockwise on its axis? I got an Earth, a Uranus, a Neptune, an Earth, a Neptune, a Uranus, a Neptune, a Mercury. Be aware once again with the right answer, Venus. I'm your Venus, baby. That is right. The only planet in our solar system to rotate clockwise on its axis would be Venus. Venus, Venus. Well done, Be Aware. That's 2 in a row for you, friend. If only I gave away prizes. Wouldn't that be nice? Someday I'll win the lottery and I'll give away big prizes. Which freezes faster, hot or cold water? Which freezes faster, hot or cold water? Oh, Doug had Venus too. Good job, Doug. I see it. Yeah. Which freezes faster, hot or cold water? Tesla de Paris says hot water. Hilo Karen says hot. Chris says cold. Be Aware says hot. The answer is due to the Mpemba effect. Hot water actually freezes faster than cold water. So I'm looking for hot, hot. Hot is the answer. Tesla de Paris says hot. That is correct. Hilo Karen has it. Be Aware has it. Sandy has it. Cameo has it. So does Mobius. And Gordon has it. And James has it. Nullifidian. Yeah, hot is the answer, which is interesting because you would think if you would try to freeze cold water, you're already partway there. So it would take less time. No, 'tis not true. Yeah. Okay, hot, hot. Thank you, guys. The next question is, what's the only food that can never go bad? What is the only food that can never go bad? Tesla wants us to do the scientific experiment in our kitchen. You guys knew this one immediately. Tesla says honey. Sandy says honey. Uncle Jim says honey. Honey's right. Maud says honey. So does John Watson, Donna Holm. Twinkies, takes a long time for them to go bad. Roaches, not food. Honey. Honey, says Vanessa. Yes. Honey and chocolate. Does chocolate never go bad? Oh, I don't know. I've opened a chocolate before and when you open a Hershey's Kiss or you have some type of, I don't know, old chocolate that's been laying around for a while and you open it and there's white spots on it. I don't think that's mold, but I don't know what the white parts are. I think chocolate might go bad. I don't know. Salted meat, says Deidre. Honey, yes, the honey is correct. Eileen has honey. Nullifidian has honey. So does Mobius. Mama has honey. So does James and Teacher. Roaches, says Sandy. I don't know what you're talking about, Cameo. Roaches. Hey, pretty soon we'll all be eating insects for food, so he might be right. What was the first animal ever to be cloned? It's easy if you know it, but if you don't, then maybe more difficult. What was the first animal ever to be cloned? Yeah, mine neither. The chocolate in my house never stays around long enough, says Ricky O'Bear. The first animal ever to be cloned, Deidre has it. It was a sheep. Dolly the sheep, right? Yeah. Yeah. Tesla says I've eaten bad chocolate and I went bad. Cameo has sheep. Ren has sheep. Chris has sheep. Vanessa has sheep. Hilo, Karen has sheep. So does Nullifidian and Mobius and Uncle Jim and John Watson. Yeah, you would have thought they would have started with something smaller, but yeah, no, Dolly the sheep. Right. Sheep named Dolly, says What the Sizzle. And Gordon and Rhonda. Hey, Rhonda. Has it? Dolly. You guys even know the name, Gordon. Gordon, I have to tell you, you know I love you. You were killing me today with the all caps, every other word on the Mark Thompson show. All cap. You know how I feel about the all caps. And also, I adore you. So, okay. Ground. Okay. Sheeples. Sheepies. Yes. Next question. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you out or make you feel bad, but also no caps. Okay. What is the name of the pet dinosaur on the TV cartoon The Flintstones? What is the name of the pet dinosaur on the TV cartoon The Flintstones? See, now teacher Lori is just messing with me to mess with me. The answer is Dino. Dino the dinosaur. Deidre has it. So does Nola Fidian and Tesla and Uncle Jim. Look at we're all children of the Flintstone age. Cameo has it. Chris Holman, you guys got it fast. And Vanessa, Be Aware, Ren, Sandy. And if I could click on everybody's, Donna, Eileen, What the Sizzle, John Watson, Agent Kitty Feets, James and Mama. Yeah, you guys all had Dino. Nice. It was an easy one, but we all need some easy ones sometimes, right? Every Gen Xer should get it. Exactly right. Next question. Nearly all fossils are preserved in what type of rock? Nearly all fossils are preserved in what type of rock? What color was Dino? Asks Yvonne, turning the trivia tables on me. Wasn't Dino purple? Am I right? I have to look it up. Dino Flintstones. I think it was purple. Images. Yeah, purple. I got it right. Of course. Okay, next question. What nearly all fossils are preserved in what type of rock? The answer is sedimentary. Uncle Jim, first to the punch. Well done. Sedimentary is correct. Chris Holm has it. Ren has it. Nullifidian, sedimentary. Sedimentary, says John Watson. Yep. It's sedimentary. Agent Kitty Feets has it. So does Be Aware. So does Donna. And yes, purple. Excellent. Sedimentary. Anybody else for sedimentary? I have no idea. Well, now you know. Next question. Here's another one for my Gen Xers. In what TV series did actor Tom Hanks co-star with Peter Scolari? Think early 80s. In what TV series did actor Tom Hanks co-star with Peter Scolari? Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is why I love you guys. We are of the same vintage. Deidre, bosom buddies. Deidre gets it. So does Ren. So does Karen. So does What the Sizzle. So does Be Aware. Jim Shields, Sandy, Cameo, Eileen. Bosom buddies, says Vanessa. And Maud and Mobius and Agent Kitty Feets. Yep. Bosom buddies is correct. The iconic Hollywood sign originally spelled out what word? The original or the iconic Hollywood sign originally spelled out what word? Oh, you guys, see, I didn't know this one. You all knew it fast. Uncle Jim says that would be Hollywoodland. That is correct. That was the original sign. The land is gone now. It's just Hollywood, but it was originally Hollywoodland. Uncle Jim has it. So does John Watson and Teacher Lori. What the Sizzle had it. And Teacher Lori had the Bosom Buddies. Yeah. What the Sizzle has Hollywoodland. So does Sandy and Maud and Jim and Eileen and Vanessa and Mama and Doug and James. Teacher Lori does have Hollywoodland. Yeah. I had no idea either. See what we learn? These words, what do they all have in common? Psalm, saint, and Chicago. Psalm, saint, and Chicago are the names of what? Another one I didn't know. And you might be proud not knowing this one. Psalm, Saint, and Chicago are the names of what? Psalm, Saint, and Chicago. I love you guys for I love you for not knowing this, but Eileen knows it. Those are the name of Kim Kardashian's children. Psalm, Saint, and Chicago. Those are the names of her kids. I got to give it to you, Eileen. I didn't know that one. I'm horrified and proud of you all at the same time. Mm-hmm. Oh, good God, says Deidre. I know. Don't you wish you didn't know? But now you do. One fact I could do without, says Hilo Karen, and yet there it is. French sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi designed what landmark? French sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi designed what landmark? I told you a little bit of every kind of trivia up in here. Yes, Cameo knows it was the Statue of Liberty. Cameo, first to the punch. Deidre gets it. Noodle place. No. Gordon has Liberty. Well done, Gordon. Donna has it. Well, James Buchanan has it. And Sandy has it. And who else has it? Ranting teacher Lori has it. Statue of Liberty is correct. Well done. The Treaty of Paris ended which war? I told you these trivia questions are all over the map. All over the map. The Treaty of Paris ended which war? I got a World War I. I got a War of 1812. I got a 1. I got an 1812. The answer is, I think I saw somebody have it. The answer is, I'll scroll back a little bit. Uncle Jim, the US Revolution. Yeah, that is correct. The Treaty of Paris ended the Revolutionary War. And so Uncle Jim takes the prize on that one, but Eileen had it as well. So did Jim. So did Cameo. And Doug. Yeah, that is correct. Well done. Treaty of Paris ended the Revolutionary War. Which U.S. president died of gastroenteritis while still in office? Which U.S. president died of gastroenteritis while still in office? Yikes. Bad cherries on the cherry trees? Something. "'Twas not Taft nor Harrison. 'Twas not Buchanan or Garfield or Harding, but it was Taylor. I think Be Aware is the first one to go with Taylor. I also am impressed with you all, Mobius. Yes, Be Aware says it was Zachary Taylor, and Be Aware is correct. Garfield, I think Garfield is the one that was shot, right? Yeah. No, it was Taylor. Zachary Taylor is the answer. Doug has it as well. Well done. Died of gastroenteritis. I think it was, well, they didn't have very good sewer systems in DC, but I think it was like rotten, nasty cherries. I think that was it. I could be wrong on that. I'm guessing. All right. Here we go. Which European explorer discovered a passage that connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans? Which European explorer discovered a passage that connects the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans? I see you. The answer is Magellan, says Chris Holm, and Chris Holm is correct. And so is Cameo, and so is Agent Kitty Feets and Uncle Jim and Sandy and Gordon. You guys know your explorers. Eileen has it, and Deidre has it. Yeah. Old Ferdinand says, be aware. Yvonne, Strait of Magellan. Yep. Well done. That is correct. I'll delete my purple Dino dinosaurs. Here's for my Revolutionary War experts. Which battle between the United States and British effectively ended the Revolutionary War? For those of you up on your battles and their relevance, which battle between the United States and the British effectively ended the Revolutionary War? Uncle Jim, right away, Yorktown. He knew. It is Yorktown. Ren knew it. Oops, Ren, there you are. Chris had it. Vanessa has it. John Watson has it. Yorktown, says Donna. Yipperoo. Gordon says Yorktown. That's correct. Kay Plant has it. Yep. I learned it from Hamilton, says Vanessa. You know what's crazy? My daughter, who's taking AP US history this year, they call it A-Push. She thinks she's so cool, and she's like, I love A-Push. A-Push, there's a lot of answers to test questions that she's like, I just sing the song in my head from Hamilton, and I know several answers pop right up. So if you have a fan of Hamilton in your house, it comes in handy around test time at this house. Okay, next question. We are nearing the end of Trivia Thursday. It's almost 2:00, and you know what? Sandy has to go, so we're gonna push through with this. Here's one. What pioneering Englishwoman is considered the founder of nursing? What pioneering Englishwoman is considered the founder of nursing? Seems easy unless for some reason you can't think of it. Ren says Clara Barton. Donna says Clara Barton. I got a Barton. Florence Nightingale is the correct answer here. Florence Nightingale, considered the founder of modern nursing. Mobius has Florence, and so does Uncle Jim and Eileen. I see you, Phineas. Yvonne says Florence Nightingale. That's correct. Florence Nightingale. Mobius, Mama. I vote for Florence, says Deidre. Yes. Well done. All right. Next question. Which American financier was convicted of running the largest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history? Which American financier was convicted of running the largest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history? Soon to be replaced by this one, but the answer is Bernie Madoff. Deidre throwing it down. John Watson has it. What the sizzle? That's a good answer. Mr. Ponzi himself, but it ends up being Bernie Madoff, who outdoes everybody. Eileen has it, so does Sandy and Jim and Vanessa. And Madoff, says Gordon. And well done, says Kay Plant, says Gordon. I mean, Kay Plant says Madoff. I know what I'm talking about. Donna Holmes says Madoff. Agent Kitty Feets has it, so does Phineas. Yeah, I repressed the name Bernie Madoff because he made off with everybody's money. Crazy. I know. What a criminal. And then the aftermath on his family. Wow. What was the first message sent by Morse code? What was the first message sent by Morse code? The first message sent by Morse code. I got an SOS. I got a hi. I got a help. Watson, come here. I got an SOS. Uncle Jim knows. What hath God wrought? What hath God wrought is the correct answer. Is this thing on? Ahoy. Eileen knew. What hath? What hath, she says, God wrought. That's right. Well done. That was the. We're trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Excellent. Well done. Now, says Deidre, that was the first phone call. You guys are funny. Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in? Be aware. Can you hear me now? Well done. Okay, next question. Who was the first president to visit all 50 states? Who was the first president, US president, to visit all 50 states? Let's see if you guys know it. I have a Carter. I have a Teddy Roosevelt. What else? I have a JFK, a Teddy, an Obama. Jim Shields is the first with the correct answer. It was Nixon was the first president to visit all 50 states. Nixon is correct. Nice. And thanks for all the responses and guesses. So that's good too. Nixon is the answer. First president to visit all 50 states. He was busy doing more than one thing when he was in the office, wasn't he? Next question. How old was Queen Elizabeth II when she was crowned the Queen of England? How old was Queen Elizabeth II when she was crowned the Queen of England? I got a 17. I got a 20. I got a 24. I got a 16 and a 35 and a 25 and a 17 and a 25. No. And 23 and we knew she was young, right? Because she reigned for so long. 21 and a 23 and a 23 and a 21. Well, remember, she volunteered during the war effort as a young woman. 25 is probably the closest I've seen. She was 27. Queen Elizabeth II was 27 when she was crowned the Queen of England. Let's do this one. How long was the first Thanksgiving? How long was the first Thanksgiving? You mean it was longer than a 3-hour dinner? How long was the first Thanksgiving? Ren knew it went on for 3 days. 3 days, says Ren. That's correct. Ren, first one in line with the right answer. John Watson says 3 days. Chris Holmes says 3. So does Donna. So does Eileen. Missed it by that much. 3 days, says Jim Shields and Vanessa Pacheco. Yeah, a 3-hour tour, says Phineas. 3 days. That thing went on for a while. Come on. All right. Should we keep going? Maybe I'll do just a couple more questions. How about since we did the 50 state question, how about this one? I might have asked this before. That's all right. We'll see if you know it now. What was the first state? What was the first state? They really marinated that turkey, says Tesla. That's true. What was the first state? You knew it. Delaware, says Uncle Jim, and Chris and John and Mama knew Delaware. Be aware, says Delaware. Vanessa has it as well. Very good. What state has the longest freshwater shoreline? What state has the longest freshwater shoreline? And this will be our last question. What state has the longest freshwater shoreline? It's Michigan. Cameo has it. I think that's the first, right? Yeah. Good job, Cameo. I think that's 2 in a row for you. Cameo has Michigan. So does Uncle Jim. So does What the Sizzle and Donna Holm and Doug. Go Blue. Be Aware says Michigan. And Sandy and Tesla and John Watson. Ren has Michigan. So does Mama. And so does Hilo Karen. Michigan, says Phineas. Yes. Oh, Cameo is from Michigan. Cameo's got a leg up on that one. All right. I also married a fella from Michigan. Northville, Michigan is where he grew up, which is why he knows how to drive in the snow when we go to Tahoe. He tried to teach me once how to stay in the ruts, and I thought, you know what? No, I can't do this. I was bouncing out all over the place. It's horrible. I cannot drive in the snow. I'm a menace. No. It's a good thing I have a driver then. I missed the freshwater part. Yeah, freshwater, longest freshwater shoreline. All right. Thus ends Trivia Thursday after party style. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you, Sandy, for suggesting that we do it a little bit early. And was this your first or third husband? I'm still on my first husband. I keep threatening him that, the next big anniversary, it's a trade-in, the year that we trade in. But so far, I've managed to keep this guy. I don't know. Yeah. Thanks for playing, Ricky. Absolutely fun. Agent Kitty Feet says, I'd rather drive in the snow than the rain. Yeah, I'm a better rain driver than snow driver. I can't do it. Vanessa says, I lived in Tahoe for 2 years, so I can drive in the snow. Nice. I respect all the snow drivers, all the people that were raised in snowy areas. I missed the shark story because we haven't done it yet. So let's flip over to the shark story. Check out this surfboard. Look at that. Wow. This is a latest shark attack in California, happened here in the Bay Area. Just a couple weeks ago, there was a swimmer in Monterey Bay that was killed by a shark. Now we have this incident. This happened in, let's see, Mendocino County. This is a rare shark attack where this surfer was thrown into the air and had their surfboard broken in this shark attack that was reported yesterday. The South Coast Fire Protection District telling SF Gate they responded to a 911 call at 8:45 a.m. Tuesday, reporting a person in distress in the ocean from a possible shark attack. Bystanders on a bluff called in and told them it was a big shark. I heard from them that it hit the surfer and the surfboard, and it threw the surfer up into the air a bit and broke the board in half. The shark then latched on to half of the board and was thrashing it around. And look at all the marks on the back of that board after the shark nailed the board and was just biting it and breaking it. A resident from Point Arena saying he was surfing at the mouth of the Gualala River, which feeds into the Pacific Ocean in Mendocino County, when he was knocked off his board. He said it was like being hit by a car. All of a sudden, I was shot out of the water. After the attack, the surfer was able to get out of the ocean on his own, meet with rescue crews. Only minor injuries reported. They were able to drive themselves to get medical care. What are you in for, sir? Shark attack? Must have been. It's a good day when a shark throws you out of the water, bites your board, you're able to drive yourself to the hospital. That's one visit to the emergency room where that's a good day that you can drive yourself and walk in on your own volition. Surfer needed stitches, and they took a DNA sample from the wound that they intend to use to identify the exact species that caused the injuries. Don't we already know that is a great white? Come on. If it hit you like a bus and knocked you out, shot you into the air, full on great white. The president of the California White Shark Project said 4 recent shark bite incidents in the last 2 months is a high number, considering how rare shark attacks are. They say they're not surprised by the location of the encounters off the coasts of Monterey and Mendocino because white sharks remain close to the coastline this time of year. It's the time of year where they're still lingering there. They start to filter out into the open ocean around January, February, and March. They are not interested, though, in consuming humans, and shark bites are extremely rare. He said, we're not on their menu. If we were something they wanted, it would be very easy for them to go after us. But we do know that there were only 3 incidents with injuries last year, I believe in California. And so in 1974, it was the highest year, 7 injuries confirmed in California. And now we have in 2025 a record 10 shark incidents in California. So that was the highest total number of shark incidents recorded in a single year, 2025, with 10. I don't know. Can you imagine? You're out there on your board and you get slammed from underneath and so powerful that it shoots you straight into the air. That's crazy. Here's another crazy story, also from SF Gate. This is kind of a nightmare. Imagine walking into your new rental, and what do you see? This guy, a giant lizard left behind, sadly. Somebody didn't want to take him with. If you have a pet, you have a responsibility. This is one of the world's largest species of lizard. It is called the ornate monitor, and it was found in an Alameda home, abandoned. Property manager of the home reports this lizard had been left behind by previous tenants. Animal control arrived. They were able to use an animal handling snare to guide this lizard to the ground from the window, a window where it was hanging on some blinds, some mini blinds, and they put it into a crate. It's the first ornate Nile monitor that the animal control officers in Alameda County had encountered. They said, thankfully, it's not something we see on a regular basis. They think this lizard likely escaped from a cage, probably was purchased when it was a baby. And then the resident probably wasn't educated about caring for this creature as it got bigger and bigger and bigger. They can grow up to 6 feet long. After moving out, the former resident is believed to have continued to feed the animal, but probably wasn't sure as how to safely relocate or surrender it. So police took this animal to the East Bay Vivarium in Berkeley. It's a reptile store. One of the shop's owners said he was glad the store had cage space for this lizard because the ornate monitor can be aggressive and defensive. The officer that had to wrangle this lizard spent some time and struggle getting it in there because they're ferocious. Guy at the shop said they're very careful when screening buyers for large, high maintenance animals like the ornate monitor. This creature needs a cage the size of a walk-in closet. So it doesn't need a cage, it needs a habitat. That's what it needs. This species, most often found in sub-Saharan Africa, requires warm, humid temperatures when it's kept in a cage. And when it's kept as a pet, it typically eats insects like crickets or roaches or worms or frozen thawed rodents or raw turkey or beef or eggs. And they say people just want something aggressive. People want that machismo animal. They don't want to spend a lot of money or effort. This is an animal that takes a lot of screening. So in Berkeley at the vivarium, they say they're very particular. Yeah. They did allow a new owner to take control of this creature. A regular walk-in customer with whom the staff was familiar, knew what he was doing with animals well enough to feel comfortable about where this ornate monitor went. I'm surprised it's allowed that we are allowed in California to own this type of exotic animal, but apparently it's all right. I don't know if you saw this story. I wanted to show you the video though of this tiny little deer who his mate is, I guess, in heat, and so there's breeding going on and hormones afoot. And so this little deer ends up facing down a rhino in an enclosure. And I have video from this, which is just kind of crazy. Here's the video. Look at that little guy. I'll turn off the music, but look at that. Thinks he can go up against this giant rhino. The rhino praised for having some patience, and the deer not backing down. Those hormones are ferocious and strong. Look at that. I'll play it again. Yeah. This happened in, I believe, Poland, in a zoo in Poland. This tiny deer facing down a rhino in this giant enclosure. See if I can pause it here. You can see them. There they are facing down each other. Or I guess it's not really much of a face down if you're facing a rhino. It happened at the Wrocław Zoo in Poland. This small Chinese deer named Munzak ends up in a standoff with a rhino named Maruska in the enclosure that these animals share. Nice. They posted it online saying someone probably forgot to look in the mirror this morning. Respect for Maruska for her patience. The aggressive behavior of the small deer, the result of an excess of testosterone as his partner is currently in heat. They wrote, he needs to release his energy and show who's boss, even if his sparring partner weighs 1.7 tons. Who would have thought such a warrior could be hidden in that tiny little body? Later on, the two end up sharing a meal of hay inside their enclosure. The official said if it seems weird to you that these two animals would be in an enclosure together, these species have lived together in the zoo for years. They have separate bedrooms but share a common yard, and then they eat hay together from one plate. And there's usually full agreement, but in this case, one of the deer got a little big for his britches. I thought that was kind of a cute story. Speaking of deer, though, how about this one? Look at this deer box. Well, I say a deer box, but really it's a box made from deer bone, they think. May have once held ancient ointments. This box was excavated from a Roman era grave in England, found among many artifacts spanning roughly 8,000 years of human activity. Likely dates to the late Roman period, a beautifully carved bone box. You can see it's carved with all kinds of intricate circles, circles within circles within circles. The bone box was found while excavating a site called Milestone Ground in Broadway, which is a village in the county of Worcestershire. Did I say it right? Or Worcestershire? Worcestershire? I say Worcestershire sauce. I don't know. It's about 100 miles northwest of London. Researchers at Worcestershire Archaeology were digging on behalf of the district council and prep for a planned development, and they spotted this box while excavating the grave of a young woman. They said, we saw this hint of a carved bone artifact right below the skull, but we had no idea at that point what was going to come out of the ground. Once the archaeologists successfully extracted the container from the grave and took a closer look, they were stunned. Never seen anything like it, they said. The craftsmanship is incredible, highly decorated, looks amazing, so it was clearly a really special item. And for it to be deposited in the grave shows it had some significance to that young Roman woman, but also to the people around her. So the box is decorated with various rings and dots, and the sliding lid can be fully removed to reveal the interior space. And based on the style of decoration, they initially assumed the box dated to the late Roman period and then later confirmed that by radiocarbon dating the burial site. Then they did more analysis and they revealed that the box was crafted from the bone of a roe deer. The researchers suspect it once contained an ointment used for pain relief because the woman's skeleton showed signs of lesions and joint inflammation. They think she was between 25 and 30 when she died. She's one of 79 bodies from the late Roman period discovered at this site so far. Some remains are buried with the heads decapitated and down at the feet. Some are face down with the hands tied. There's something in the grave with them that doesn't archaeologically survive, flowers or food, perhaps. They're all facing in different directions. So they say there's more questions than answers at that moment. But this dig has turned up evidence from about 8,000 years of human activity. So they think this village was historically important as a settlement along a major route across the Cotswolds. Oh, interesting. Look at that box. How cool is that? I have another deer story, as if that wasn't enough. Here's a deer marking. You can see this tree in the middle of a forest, and it looks kind of like it's been chewed up and messed up. Looks what happens when you shine a UV light on it. Whoa, it glows. Yes, it does. The scrapes and the rubs that deers leave behind shine under UV light that humans cannot see. It turns out, according to the author, co-author, and ecologist at University of Georgia's Deer Lab, who did a study, findings published in the journal Ecology and Evolution, that photoluminescence is potentially a way for mammals to find a mate. The scrapes and markings they make in the dirt or on wood and fill with secretions glow under the UV light that they can see, but we can't see. The same goes for rubbings or the secretion-filled marks their antlers make on trees and fence posts as well. Study authors say people have been hypothesizing about this, whether this glow exists in the environment, but no one had gone out yet to try and connect it to deer until now. As we get closer to breeding season, the markings increased in visibility as deer prepared for it. They spent 3 months at the Deer Lab searching for white-tailed deer markings in Whitehall Forest near Athens, Georgia, during the day. And then they went back and found them again at night and investigated them with UV lights. They analyzed 109 antler rubs on trees and 37 urine-marked acres across 800 acres of forest. Their vision, they said, is vastly different from ours. Once the sun is slightly gone around dusk and dawn, UV light dominates for deer since it's not being washed out by the visible light spectrum from the sun. They think at the Deer Lab that the rub's glow could be made from a combination of plant and tree sap and secretions from the animal's forehead glands. The scrapes glow likely from urine. Here's the quote. In the process of scraping the bark off a tree with their antlers, they are depositing glandular secretions. Likewise, when they make a scrape, a different gland is also between their toes. Deer have a lot of ways to interact with the environment, and they are leaving those signatures out there to smell and to glow. Now, there have been earlier studies that suggest other mammals also leave things behind that glow under UV light, but the reasons why this happens has been kind of vague. The deer, they said, use the same scrapes as a way to communicate through scent. But they think the glow offers a visual way for the deer to communicate. The scrapes become a communication hub where other deer will see it, kind of like YouTube for deer. And other deer will visit it after it's created and contribute to it, like a phone booth out in the city when trying to make nighttime plans at a meeting point. They said they've known there's an olfactory component, but now they know the deer are also getting stimulated in two senses, both olfactory and visually. And both males and females utilize scrapes to advertise their presence in the environment and their breeding status and their fitness level. So there you go. Looks way different to them. That's pretty cool. Okay, I have another animal story for you. How am I doing on time? Oh man, I'm really pushing it today, aren't I? All right. Well, tomorrow I'll show you the picture today and I'll tell you the story tomorrow. This little bunny. This little bunny wants to go home with you. And you and you and you. This little bunny, I'll tell you more about the escapades this animal has been going on. It's a wild bunny, not even domesticated. And I don't want to give it away, but I'll tell you more about this bunny tomorrow. For now, thank you so much to everyone who played along with trivia, who've taken the time to send messages and ideas, who have contributing to the show in various ways to keep it going and afloat. Hugely, hugely appreciated. As a matter of fact, I want to thank Wes, Scott R, Dallas Y, Prakash S, Kim N, from yesterday and the last few days contributing to PayPal. And thank you so much for the contributions today, including Sandy with 5. Thank you so much. And James with 5. Thank you so much. And thank you both for playing trivia today as well. All right. Tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific, the Nikki Maduro Show. I have a little banner for it and everything. Here it is. Do I have it? Yeah, there it is. The Nikki Maduro Show. 5 p.m. Pacific this evening. Please join us for cocktails, mocktails, politics. I love the show so much. It's so much fun to be a part of it. Please join us and hang out. If you haven't clicked like today, please click like. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to this show. And until I meet you again at 5 p.m. Pacific, please go out and make it the best rest of your day and get your 5 minutes of exercise in. Stand up, twist, do some movement. Got to get it moving. If you don't move it, you lose it, right? All right.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Doug McNeely, thank you for the 20. I love trivia, says Doug. So do I. Thanks for playing. Thanks for being here. And thanks for contributing that way. Really appreciate it.